Okay, two more.
Thank you very much. This is Salil. I am a sustainability living lab practitioner at Siam University, but in the presence of Professor Shaks, I must admit that I have another identity. Last time when he taught me, he made me learn for first 3 hours and switch and become a teacher the next 3 hours. So that has a tremendous impact on me to become a lifelong learner. I really continue to and endeavor to do that. One point you mentioned about urban infrastructure, I was just wondering as a value proposition, we need to look at the density, the urban density. So we need to de-densitize because our habitats are becoming overwhelmingly cluttered, and that may really make our urban entities very unsmart urban entities. So there is a value proposition here to switch from urban to rurban, which is rurbanization. So urban aligned with robust rural. Singapore may become urban plus rural. Bangkok may become that, so that will deflect the people to come and clutter and make the urban habitats unlivable. Thanks.
So you raise a very big question, much discussed and very interesting about the future of our cities. We are already nearly 60% urban worldwide. I think we will be probably 75% urban by 2050. So we'll be urban societies everywhere after 10,000 years of being mostly rural until the 20th century, and then this extraordinary transformation to urban environment. A lot of the problem of urbanization in the last 50 years is the dramatic growth of cities as huge numbers came from the countryside, but without adequate infrastructure or plans or attempts to ensure quality of life for this expanding urban area. So the biggest cities in the world spilled over their physical infrastructure. I happen to be a city boy and was born and raised and have lived all my life in cities. Now I live in a very densely settled small island called Manhattan. It's very livable because it's got very strong infrastructure, although it's out of date now, but it has a public transport system that is very active. A brilliant idea was taken 160 years ago when Midtown Manhattan was still farmland, and that was to set aside a park, Central Park, which was protected from 1860 onward. And now it's the beautiful meeting place for free for thousands and thousands of people to come every day and enjoy the green, and the dogs like it even more than the people. And the point is, we need urban landscape and urban planning the same way to be thoughtful for green quality of life, for infrastructure, for social housing, for access. We have another advantage now. For a lot of kinds of jobs, we don't necessarily have to go to the office 5 days or 6 days a week. It can be done remotely to an important extent. Commute time can really be reduced. People can work from their neighborhoods or work from their homes in certain contexts and so forth. And so there's a tremendously lively, exciting discussion about what a future green city is that is all renewable, basically electric, with lots of public transport, walking, bicycling, and some cities are implementing this very well. I would say in Northern Europe, Copenhagen, Oslo, and Stockholm are kind of models of this process. They're smaller compared to big Asian cities, maybe 1 million or 2 million people, not 6 or 10 or 20 million people. But I think all of this is just to say this is another area where we should be very thoughtful about quality of life, because we live in our cities aside from everything else. And so the issues that you raise really are susceptible of design, deliberation, and community choice.
So we have time for one last question.
Okay. Good afternoon, Professor. Thank you very